pick up that area, open this up, divert the flow to go east, put some dye in there, make sure the water goes over to 11th Street, and I'm sure it does, but just to make sure. We can pick up that water, we can pick up what goes down by the Catholic Church. I got to back up one more block. On 13th, it goes down to Shaler, goes west, picks up Circle Drive. You can pick up all that water from Bailey south. I'll make it easy. And then we can go east to 10th Street, pick up that water, the elevation difference. We could probably directional bore underneath that, leave it intact. Go to 9th Street, turn, like I said, and then go down the hill, pick up 9th Street's sewer as we go, and get it over there. And this Darren and Al both kept talking and really asking questions, and this is looking better, this is looking better. And Darren said that approximately we could relieve that 9th Street line or through the gully, picking this up from Bailey south, 20%, maybe a little more, and divert it over there. We still have a problem. You get it to the lift station, we either need to enlarge that, a new one, do something to pump the water out to the plant. But we could possibly relieve enough, take it down Bailey, down to 9th, over the hill to 5th Street, and then what's in the gully and stuff would be big enough and adequate to handle the flow there. That's a possibility. Now I'm sure they're gonna address us on that. We went from there. We went to the west side of town, up through what used to be Roos's Apple Orchard, the trailer court in that area. We have reasonable infiltration there. Down the road, slip lining, something there. And that's what we've done. And like I say, they worked well with us. Interested in what Elwin and I had to say, took very good notes. They fine job. Today they called, and they would like us, and we will. I've taken Jim and Barb over here to the fairgrounds. I took Jim Dowling this morning. Real nice. I had a good visit with him. He realizes, and he says the fair board realizes there's a problem. And I said, no, we're not here to stick it down your throat. We're here to work with you. We got to do something and solve it. And he says, oh, fine, good. He asked if we would leave the plug in for a week, 10 days, maybe 2 weeks, because evidently some board members should look at it, aren't here, or he wants them to see it. And I said, no problem. Darren called this afternoon. Jim happened to be here, and he called and wanted to know if we could take the plug out. He would like to calculate a maximum flow that's from the, would come in from the fairgrounds. And I said, well, how about 24-hour time period? No, an hour or so. And I said, well, you could probably calculate it off an hour, but pretty hard to do it. And he said, well, Alvin could read his meters out there at the plant, at the start and the stop. I said, well, what about 4 hours or something like that? And they said, well, yeah, that would be fine. I don't know if you guys have any problem doing that tomorrow, the next day. You know, I'll coordinate with Alvin, tell him 10 o'clock, plug out, and we let it go until 2 in the afternoon or something. And then just watch his charts and his flow, read the meters, and we can get a 4-hour time period or a 3-hour, take it times 8 or times 6 and calculate volume for a day and flow for that 4 hours. And I don't know if you guys have a problem.
That'd be a good idea.
The plugs come out once and Tom got it back in. He can do it again, I know that.
A little messy.
I think you have to do what you have to do. If they're working with us,
Yeah.
they need to do what
And this Darren said that they want it so they could get maybe a peak surge flow, whatever you want to call it. And he said, you know, do it for an hour, and I can't see where an hour would be enough time. I would think 3 or 4 hours, and then calculate it for a 24-hour period off of that. And I said, I'd ask you guys to bring it up. If you don't have any problem with it, we'll do it tomorrow or Wednesday, and then we'll put the plug back in, because Jim wants the others to see it. It won't drain the area in that length of time, but, and by the way, I've got before pictures over here. So when we do pull the plug and whatever, take after pictures, and we have picture proof. And that's the best I can tell you.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for doing it, and thanks for reporting to us. Yes.
I'd like to make a comment on a related topic. Since we're on wastewater treatment plant, I was just thinking about, I heard a program on public radio last week, and a number of cities were having problems with sewers and the grease buildup. And I remember when we looked at some of those pictures that were taken, with the TV cameras going through, and that half the pipes were filled with the grease, and coming down from the top, and they were indicting to some extent the incinerator company for encouraging people to flush and grind up grease and put it down the sinks, and that people, one of the recommendations was that people shouldn't be disposing of grease down the sinks the way they are, but rather, should be doing that, disposing in other ways other than the city sewers. And perhaps a public education process as part of this whole program might be something we might consider down the road ahead.
Any other questions or comments? Again, thank you very much.